lady at the casino, she lost all her money. She said, don't feel sorry for me. No, don't feel sorry, honey. But if you want to do a lady a favor, here's what I want you to do. Just loan me $2. Oh, until the next time I see you. But these last $2, I'm not gonna lose. These last $2, I'm not gonna lose. One's going for my bus fare, other one for the jukebox to hear me some blues. Gotta hear me some blues. She said I wouldn't be over here. My man had been treating me right. I came here to try to catch him, yeah. 'Cause he been sneaking around every night. But I got caught up over here, yeah. Got caught up in this scene. And I put all of my money in that doggone gallon machine. But these last $2, I'm not gonna lose. These last $2, yeah, I'm not gonna lose. One going for my bus fare, and the other for the jukebox. I got to hear me some down home blues. Oh, Lord.
Last $2, not gonna lose. Last $2, not gonna lose. Bus fare, jukebox, it's all blue.
Lady at the casino lost all the money, yeah. She said, don't feel sorry. Don't feel sorry, honey. If you want to do a lady a favor, here's what I want you to do. Just loan me $2 until the next time I see you. But these last $2,
Black love plus black dollars equals black power. Black love plus black dollars equals black power. This is your boy, Black Jesus Minister, the Ecclesiastes 3 Christian. Be sure to subscribe to our brother, your brother, Brother Bakari on YouTube. Brothers and sisters. Peace, Brother Bakari.
Yeah. Believe in me. Grieve for me if I'm gone and carry on your own. You way stronger than you think. Ain't no safety if it ain't safe. Headshot or the base, cut the head off the snake.
What's going on? How you doing? An interview today with Baba Ogundabade. Sorry, a little bit late. I let him know I was going to be a little late. So let me give him a call now. Yeah, let me see if they can yeah, you huh? I said, let me see if they can hear you. Can you hear me? Huh? Okay, hold on one sec. Hold on one sec. Okay, Baba, talk. Let's see if they can hear you. Baba? Baba, can you hear me? Okay, hold on, let me see. No, I know how I'm gonna do this. You want to let's be you know what? I'm gonna oh I know what I'm gonna do. Give me one second. But I don't wanna mess up my can you hear me, Baba? Go ahead, talk now. Let's see if we can hear you. Fabian. Fabian.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to speak again. Yeah, I think they can we can hear you now.
Hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. I'm sorry about that. It was having technical difficulties. I apologize. What's going on, Bob? You know what? I'm gonna start off by asking a couple of questions. I want, if that's okay, go back to we gonna go back to first of all, I'm sorry. Let me give them a round of applause. Okay. Now, I would like you to discuss again
Like the what?
the importance of African spirituality for Black people here in America, understanding African spirituality and how they connect to their roots and everything, so we can understand the importance of it.
That's the question you want to ask.
Say it again.
That's the question.
Yes, I'm asking you. Could you explain that?
How we can connect.
For the listening audience, why is it important? Why is it important for us to, as African Americans,
Oh,
and even in the diaspora, to have an understanding of African
yeah.
spirituality or some African traditional religions like Ifa and
All right.
Vodun, the importance of that understanding and knowing about it.
What is to understand it? Well, it's never substance. It's just been changed. It's been given different names. To understand the African tradition or spirituality, what you want to call it, is to basically understand yourself in a better context. Because there's so many things that Black Americans do, African Americans do in the United States, and maybe even abroad. I can speak for the United States. It's the same in so many ways. Never what is done in Africa. Yes, the tradition is different. To some degree, it's different because those things have been taken away. We've been colonized mentally. And when you colonize mentally, certain things are not in your face and you don't see it. And it's not explained. It's, you become foreign to it. Yet still, we do speaking to somebody yesterday from in Nigeria, not from in Nigeria.
We having a bad connection. You know what? I'm gonna hang up and call you right back because we having a bad connection. I don't know if it's my phone or your phone, but I'm gonna hang up and call you right back. Yeah, it's too much static. I don't know what's going on. So yeah, I'm gonna call him back. Give me a second. Let me give him a call right back. Give me 30 minutes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, that's so much better. All the static is gone.
Okay. I was saying I was speaking to a counterpart of mine in Nigeria yesterday, and he said something, because they speak English. I mean, it's a little different dialect, it's a little different wording and what have you. But if you listen, pay attention, it's not a big deal, because I don't understand. Even in the United States, we speak supposedly English, but in different sections of the country, words are pronounced differently. The North versus the South versus, not even versus, somewhat different from the South and the North and the East and the West. Words will mean the same thing, but we might say it differently, have a different cut on it. Anyway, I said to him, we were talking, he said something about favor right. And I listened to him, I said, stop. I said, what did you say? He said, favor right. I said, you know, my grandmother who raised me from South Carolina used to say that same word, just like that. It means favor, but depends upon who's saying it and how you understand it. It's a dialect. We speak dialects of English. So there's nothing really different in so many ways than if we were right there in Nigeria, Ghana, the Gambia. Might be a different way we worship God, maybe, but there'll be still similarities. And that's what we don't know. We don't understand that we've forgotten a lot. So yeah, many of us are looking to find our roots, so to speak. And we go so far and sometimes we'll stop. I said they need to go all the way. I said there's a place in South Carolina and they have an imitation village of Africa. And they say they do things a certain way. I said, but you cannot learn from imitation. You have to go to the place. So he said, some people say, well, how are we going to get over this? You take a plane, you get off. I said, so a lot of people here go back and forth. I said, the whole thing of this, unfortunately, sometimes you're going to get hoodwinked. Sometimes you're going to, as Malcolm would say, hoodwink and bamboozle. In other words, you're going to be lied to, and there's going to be a lot of nonsense until you find the real deal. It takes time. It's cultivating. And then you're not going to always get the real, you'll get the real thing, but you're going to get offshoots because everybody does it different. And a lot of times in America, we have to learn to be patient. We have to learn to be patient, because if you're impatient, you're going to miss out on so much. Over here, things are done in a very quick time. In the Caribbean, it's not as fast. In Africa, it's not as fast, even though they try to mirror Black America. Spirituality, the spiritual things that we do here, we do there, or vice versa. Except for me, to give you an example, there are some differences. There's a nut called the OBI, and it comes in different forms. But there's one that's known as a four-piece obi, known as obi box. I might have mentioned it before. When greeting a person, you go to a person's house, they give you a cola nut. They'll give you some black, they'll give you cola nut. They'll give you a bit of cola. They'll give you a sip of gin, and they'll give you an alligator pepper. And you must not refuse these things. To refuse these things because it's so. that's something we have forgotten. Most of us don't even know what it is. If somebody said alligator pepper, if you look at them, and rightfully so, because that has been taken out of our curriculum, that has been taken out of what we know things to be. Even what to do for the alligator pepper. An obie. You got a 3-part, 2-part, there's different parts of an obie. We forgot all about that. We don't even know it doesn't exist in our mind. But the people that were given church over there, see, where they couldn't bring us here, they went there. Try to do the same identical thing. But a woman told me who's a Christian, she said, before we start our service, we open the obie and we cast the obie. And my eyes just opened up. What she was doing was saying, okay, that was for Elegba. And so, you know, if you talk about Jesus and carry on and what have you, still the tradition of Exodus, something they can't get away from. Here we've gotten away from so much, or so much been taken away. It makes us lost and confused. And even though we do know we're not forgiven, I say not forgiven, the spirits do not look upon it kindly when you don't do certain things a certain way. They just don't. They don't. It's not the realm of understanding human beings and the actual spiritual factors are totally different. We have to learn to be in alignment with the spirit, and that takes time. And that has to be explained. That has to be taught. And then we have to open our minds to understand, to see progress. If not, there's going to be nothing but confusion. Now, once we learn to do certain things, and that includes myself, I don't take myself out of the equation. Once we learn to do certain things and be consistent with it, then things start to come together like they should. But if we don't do it like that, we're lost. Fried chicken is something that most black folks don't pay a lot. We love it. I was going to write a play one time about chicken's more than just a Sunday dinner. And it truly is. But I'm not going to get about what I'm doing. I'm talking about what we need to understand. Fried chicken it started in Africa. Uncle Kentucky Fried, he was not the person who started it. It started way before. That came over with our ancestors, how to fry it, how to do so much with this chicken. But what we don't know, chicken that's in the yard is the healthiest chicken you can get. You might be tough, you might be that. They call it free-range chicken now. And it costs a lot of money because it's not grown fast. Okay, the chicken you get from the store, okay, or whatever these chickens are ready to eat when they're 6 weeks old, they're big old fat birds. Many of us, I won't say are guilty, many of us have been duped into it unknowingly. This is why we need to stop eating those birds, because all the different things they put in those animals to make them grow fast, we ingest it in our body. That's why so many men, black men in particular, have prostate cancer. We get cancer from different things that we eat because everything's been changed up. And our body does not know what to do with it. And what happens? We get sick. And this has been done on purpose. Been done on purpose. Because the medical field can't make money if you're well. And when you go to the doctor, you go to the doctor forever when something starts to happen. Even the work that I do, people will come to me forever because life has its ups and downs and what it needs, except for the fact when I do what I do the best that I can. So you don't have to keep coming for the same thing. And if you do keep coming back, it's because that's part of life. That's part of spirituality.
And I try to break it down. So you got to go to the bathroom, you need toilet paper. You go to the wash yourself, you need soap. There's certain things you're going to do. Every morning you get up, you're going to do the same thing. It's a difference when you've eaten the wrong food for years. In Africa, they don't do that. In Africa, they have food that come like out of the ground. The ground hasn't been contaminated with God knows what. So that has a lot to do with our spirituality. The temple. See, people expect me sometimes always to say about the candles and the incense, and that's important. But if we don't know how to take care of the temple of our body, we're in trouble. I'm not going to even use any kind of what do you call the vernacular of being, how can I say, using any kind of strategy, saying you're certain people out of battle. I'm not going to do that. I'm simply going to say you're in trouble. And with the women, too much estrogen, they have problems with their breasts. Their ovaries, or this, that, and the other. And the food. White people get it too, but certain foods that we eat, that we call soul food, there was a big revolution some years ago about eating soul food and this, that, and the other, the recent spoon or whatever, because it tastes good. Our palates have been cultivated. But we have to learn to eat from the ground. Eat fresh food from the ground.
So you say the foods you eating and everything, that's has something to do with your spirituality as well.
Oh yeah. Because if you don't feel good, even with all the knowledge in the world, you don't feel well, how can you serve yourself to greet anybody else? And it takes time to keep it together all the time. Like, I don't eat chicken myself, but people look for chicken, they come to me for chicken. And when I do what I have to do, I look for free range, the free range chicken. Chickens that haven't been, whatever the case may be. Chicken, and people also with beef, red meat. So you should eat red meat. There's nothing wrong with red meat. It's how red meat is grown. What do you call it? African spirituality? The what do you call the power from the cow or from the bull meat is so powerful that some people, some tribes, like the Maasai, they use the urine to wash their body, to cleanse us. You say put tea on you? Oh yeah. So a lot of things people do that we have been indoctrinated in such a way that we twist our face and our nose to, because we don't know any better. It'll take generations to find out, because once we find out, why do we find ourselves in the cemetery way before everybody else, or if not that, incarcerated more so than anybody else? And that again is profiling, what have you. Again, we have not learned the ABCs of certain things to keep ourselves together so certain elements don't even come near us. They've given it the word voodoo or hoodoo or whatever. They've given it a dark name. I was talking to a gentleman the other day, and rightfully, I understand what he was saying. He was talking about white man, this, that, and because that's the topic of the conversation. That's not going to stop. It's not going to stop, because that's how America was built. And I was there. And I told him, I said, listen, some fights you have to pick. Not every fight is a battle. Everybody's not out there to try to hurt you. They will try to use you if they can, only if you let them. If you know and understand certain things, they might feel that they're going to. That's the plan. But if you understand yourself, and it's very important to understand yourself. Some of us learn by meditating. Africans meditate. They take spiritual baths all the time. Not one day a week. Every day. This is part of like getting a breathing. It's a whole, it would take me I don't know how long it would take me. Many weeks, many months, or whatever, to explain what is done in Africa on a daily basis. And what they got to
He said, what do you mean talking to you? Once you get to I wouldn't say a certain age. Can't say a certain age. Once you get in tune with yourself, and everybody, like women a lot of times say, I know my body. But once you get in tune with yourself, I say that, ladies, no disrespect, because that's something you'll hear a woman say periodically. I know I have. And being a man, you can't quite understand what you're talking about. But understanding how they feel about this, that, and the other. And I don't claim to understand because, again, I'm not a woman. I'm just giving you an excerpt of understanding. Once you learn to understand yourself, and you know yourself, you know your feelings, you know what you feel good about, you know what you don't feel good about. And once, like I said, I'm repeating myself, you come and tune yourself in on however, you'll be a lot better. I was about 10 years old. I might have said the story before, I don't know, because sometimes I have a tendency to repeat myself because I'm not lying and I'm not looking at it on a chart. I'm speaking in a conversation. I was about 10, 11 years old, and something told me, I use the word something, but it's just a spirit. I don't use that word like that, but something told me to go and get some incense. It told me where to go, to bust the whole trip. I got on the bus, where to go, got off, went to the store. Never been there before in my life. And I asked her what was incense. And she looked at me. I was a little old guy. She said, incense, you know what kind you want? I told her, no, I don't. She said, you know how to burn? I said, no, I don't. She gave me a little 2-cent bag. It was back in the day. They didn't cost a whole lot. In relation to what it is now, it still was money. So I gave her the money. She gave me the bag of incense. She said, go home. And she told me how to do it. I went home and I did just what she told me. My grandmother came out the kitchen and she looked at me. She never opened her mouth. She didn't ask me what I was doing. I'm almost certain she didn't say anything to my parents because my parents never said nothing to me. That was the first time I started to smoke the house about incense. My ancestors or whatever spirit was with me was letting me know that I had to smoke the house. The house needed to have a certain heat. You do this periodically. We do it in terms of what we like the odor. But we need to know the frankincense. There's so many different kinds of incense to burn in your house to chase away negative energy to keep things cool. But look, the Indian from India, he's always doing stuff like that. But with Africa too, you know.
Huh? Who's African?
The Indians from India, that's Africa. They just went in a different direction.
Yeah.
Because when I say that, everything, everyone is out of Africa. They trace humanity, the origin of man. And Withe, who was a white man, it must have been, I know he didn't want to say it, but he had no choice but to tell the truth. Withe said the origin of man came from Africa. He just went different directions. And where he was, his skin changed, color, his hair changed, his language changed. Everybody came out of Africa. We just have different ways of looking at the same, that spirituality. We want to talk about the real Africa, that's West Africa. They call it East Africa. That's Kenya called. Over in Ethiopia, all that's Africa. But those are countries. When we speak of Africa, we speak of it like it's a country. It's a continent. And it has many different beliefs. I was talking to them, they were talking about how, this white woman, she was talking about how they she hadn't talking, wasn't spiritual, but I was listening to her. And she was saying how they, dispatch the chicken, kill the chicken, what have you. And I'm listening to her. I said, I'll show you. Me, who I am, blood has a lot more to do with life. Life is blood. They don't understand that. And and I wasn't going to educate. Sometimes you got to be quiet because your belief system might be so different. It will impede your progress if you try to share. That's a fact. Back to the point where I was telling this gentleman about the fact of black, white. And I worked in the store. I was reading cards and doing the baths and what have you. I said, listen, nobody's going to take advantage of you if you know what you're doing. I said, they didn't know what they were doing and they wanted me to come in there and do what I did. And they did not pay me. I paid them. He looked at me and said, how'd you do that? I said, because I made everything that I got. Well, when I was getting from Africa, I would sell it and give them a commission. They didn't have the contact. I had to sacrifice and learn to get the contact. Oh, that's just the way I am. I had to fish around. I could talk to people. Even now, the contacts plural I have in Africa is because I had to learn to talk to people and communicate and never think yourself better or different. Once you do that, you cross that barrier and everybody see you. You're okay, you're down or whatever. Now some people are gonna act a little crazy because they're gonna look at us and say, you people. They do. A lot of different people do that. But no. Or second place. I had a man run I was in the store one day, African store, and I was asking for certain things. And I spoke politely. I mean, I was speaking what I call the things by their African name. And he looked at me, and he knew that I was, born here. He ran out to me and said, how did you learn these things? How did you know? How did you know? I looked at him and smiled, so he speak English. He said, yeah. I said, okay. I said, I had to find myself, know who I am. I said, you used to see us in bars and going, doing certain things, cutting up, acting the fool. I said, I came on this planet this time to stay here as long as I can. I said, and I had to go by way of Africa. I said, I'm not ashamed of my black people who are born here, as I will teach and explain to the best of my ability as much as they want to comprehend. Because every time I pick up the phone and talk to Africa, I'm in school.
Mm-hmm. We got a question. We got a question in the chat early, Pabin.
What's that?
They asked the question. They say, they say, but what is the importance of us understanding African spiritual? Us here in America, African Americans. They said, what's the importance of us understanding African spirituality?
To understand African spirituality, you're understanding yourself. You're not in an island to yourself. You're still an African. You want to be a houseboy, you want to be the house in, whatever word you want to be. Look at your skin, look who you are, you're still an African. And how you got here is by way of whatever boat, or you might have got here late and came through one of the Caribbean islands, but you're still an African. You want to know what to do in a time. Let me go like this. Let's say you have to go to, you're in court. You have to go to court, you have to go somewhere of importance. And you're just going to go in there to your face. And you don't know A from Z. You don't know how to make that meeting turn in your favor. If you don't, you're at the mercy of whomever. The importance to know about Africa is to know about yourself, how to help yourself. See, that statement is saying to me, and not to be insulting to the person who said it, you think you're better than an African.
No, they were talking about African spirituality, the importance of understanding.
That's all I'm saying.
Understanding African spirituality here in America.
It's still the same. You go to the church. A lot of us have come from the church. We're not in church anymore. They said we weren't learning anything in church. They didn't give us anything. That was a form of African spirituality. but we weren't able to practice. It was cut off. I don't know how to explain it any better than that. The spirituality of Africa, what they do in Africa, you need to know, because you need to know how to do the same thing here. We're walking on the same earth, dealing with the same things, just in a different place. That's all. No different. I guess it's a little hard for somebody to understand it. You know, there's a book by Frank Yerby, The Homian. It might be out of print, but if you look for it, you might be able to find it. Dahomian, which is now Benin. And they took a lot of us from that area and brought us over here. There's another book called Darkness at Ingram's Crest, which is another book like a follow-up of the Dahomian. And I read that book and I see certain things that are in there that are parallel to them. There are many books that are, I'm going to tell you something. All the secrets and everything you want to know is in a book. There's a book called Conjure Woman. By Chestnut. See, my eyes are closed and I'm going back. I remember when I was in college, going back some moons ago. Be polite about the time, some moons ago. By Chestnuts. I think it's C.W. Chestnut. But the last name is Chestnut. It's Conjure Woman. And I was reading the book. It was a class, there was something about it for African studies. And it's a shame we have to have African studies, because African studies is 365 days a year. But I was reading the book, and they had a certain part in there. And at the time, I again was a woman, my godmother, who was teaching me spiritual things. And they were African, but she was from St. Thomas by way of Totola. Totola is the English Virgin Islands. And how did she get there? Her people came from Africa. Where did she go? She was improving her standard. She went to St. Thomas Virgin Island. And from St. Thomas Virgin Island, she come here. And a friend of mine, a co-worker, brought me to her. He said, I have somebody I want you to meet, Bob. I said, okay. And when he said that, I got chills all over my body. And I finally met this lady. And she gave me a reading and what have you. And she told me about, okay, I had to come get a bath if I wanted. Everything was, I see what it was. She didn't quit. I'll tell you what you need. I'll come out of my face and tell you what you need. I'll tell you, look, you need to have to get you something so you can wear, because you need protection. You say protection? Yeah, you need protection. There's so many different types of protection to wear, to carry, amulets, this, that, and the other, so negative things don't touch you. Help you on the road. Help you on the road means help you with life. All these things are African.
Yeah. When you was talking earlier, right? And you said about when you mentioned the church. I remember when I was little, the few times I went to church in my life, because I wasn't forced to go to church, but when I
didn't have a choice.
I'm glad my parents my pops gave me gave us a choice. But I do remember, I used to see the way they worshiped when I was little, late 70s, early 80s, right? So then as I got older, I've watched voodoo ceremony online. And if you look at old black church 70s, right? Late 70s, early 80s, there was really no difference in the black church and the voodoo ceremony. And we took our spirituality into the church. But now church has gotten such a big business where our spirituality, for the most part, And by the way, peace to everybody in the chat. Our spirituality, for the most part, is not in the church. We have done everything to get away from Africa. So when the question was asked about the importance, and you answered the question, and it's important. This is me, and then I'm gonna go back to you. It is important for us to understand African spirituality. It's important to study and understand what has been taken from us. We were not a religious people. We were a spiritual people.
That's right.
They took our spirituality, gave us religion, and I think that's part of the confusion with us sometimes. We truly don't understand everything that has been taken. Our spirituality was taken and they gave us religion, gave us their religion, right?
Yeah.
Forced it on us. It ain't like they gave it to us as a gift. They forced it on us so they could have it, so they could have us in this state of mind. Because you said something about that earlier. So, and that is something I spoke on. The colonizers, our mind has been colonized. And one of the ways it has been colonized with and I'm not knocking anyone that has a religion, but some people, their mind is so colonized with the religion where they can't see anything else. If you mention voodoo, oh, that's evil. If you mention anything African, it's evil. And I think it's because of a lack of understanding. And I just wanted to touch on that before we continue with this, like before you continue while I was still remembering. I just wanted to touch on that and the things we've been taught and how we do things. That's it. I just wanted to touch on the importance.
But that's the truth.
In my understanding.
I have to agree with you, Bakari, 100%. Like Santa Claus. When you was a kid, somebody tell you there's no Santa Claus. Well, don't you tell me there's no Santa. Peter Rabbit's one thing. That's the resurrection. Easter, that's one thing. When you come down to Christmas and the gifts and what have you, oh, you wanna fight somebody. You don't tell nobody there's no Santa Claus. You tell them that, you mess up the whole world. Their world. And when they told me about God being a spirit, I looked at them like they were crazy. Because I knew God is, as much as they say God is so and so and so and so, when I had to put it in the context of spirit, God is spirit. But I am spirit incarnate in flesh. And once I start to learn, and anyone starts to learn, understand and appreciate, then you'll be more in tune to yourself. And that word Africa is not a bad word. That word Africa, it's a sacred, in so many ways it's sacred, holy, divine. However you want to word it. They used to call Africa another name before they named it Africa. But that's a whole continent of our people. And all of them don't get along with one another. Just like we're here in this country. They pulled us from every corner they could find a black face. You didn't care about nothing. And put you all in the pot. And if the pot stirred good and you got a good gumbo fire, if it didn't too damn bad, you better learn to get along. Because you had people that didn't know the language of the next man. A whole different show. That's why we have a lot of problems still. Say animosity, a lot of problems to this day, because we all come from a spiritual background. And it's still being played out today. And one word we're able to use so freely that man call us as they want to call us now, the N-word, like it's now a crime to say nigga. It's like you say apple pie. Again, they try to clean it up. Oh, you're not the N-word, For real? But it's how you use that word and who's using it.
Well, I don't say the N-word at all. I never call nobody that. That was a whooping in my house.
Really?
Yeah, that was a whooping in my house. My dad, you never call nobody that. Black people, we are not that. Say that's what white people call us. I never use that. That's a word. I never call nobody that.
He was giving, that was spiritual training he was giving you.
He said you never call nobody that.
Well, see, everybody was different.
Yeah, everybody was different. Yes.
Your father had good sense. Everybody that had good sense. Everybody didn't grow up with that element. Your father came up on a hard way. It wasn't easy. Certain principles he had, he learned from his daddy.
Yeah. Like we couldn't crack dog skin jokes in our house. No African features we could make fun of. Dog skin, what they call nappy hair. My dad said, man, we got tight curls. Don't let nobody tell you it's nappy. That's tight, curly hair. We don't have that long, stringy stuff that they call hair. He said we have tight curls. We couldn't make a big nose joke or a big lip joke, a dog skin joke. We couldn't insult black women no way, shape, or form. We just couldn't insult black. That's just literally how in our house we just couldn't.
Well, that's good.
And he believed we were God. And I was taught that we were the godly people.
Yeah, daddy. God rest his soul. Your daddy, your father told you right. 100% right. See, I'm like I said, I'm dark, and somebody, I'm up in the north, and they crack a black joke in a heartbeat, make you feel bad, try to lower you from where you stand. And my father being dark also, I mean, not half brown skin dark. One day he called me, said black or something. I was highly insulted. Tears rolled down my eyes like as if somebody turned the faucet. He looked at me, my mother had to explain to him, because I wasn't used to somebody praising the black. So my father had a good one for me. He sent me away to school, black school. I went to North Carolina to black school. I went to in Manhattan to black school. I went upstate New York to a black camp. So I got my course in black, who I am, in different places that my dad sent me.
Yeah. Hey, your girl is in the chat. Our girl is in the chat.
Who's that?
Erica.
Erica.
Her name is Grandma used to say on here. Is Grandma used to say, but she in the chat. She came to listen to you.
Hey, Erica. And she said, hey, Bobby. Erica is the reason why I'm on this show today. Erica and I, we met each other years ago. Erica is one of the smartest, most intelligent, whichever word you want to use, people, women, whatever way you want to class it, that I know. Erica. And when I do my majuba in the morning, Erica's name is in that parade of words that I'm saying. So happy to feel you out there, because see, I have to text Erica. Erica don't always talk to me. Erica sometimes don't feel good, but I can understand. But I'm always texting her, saying something. And I can see where she come on there. But she looked at it, I said, there you go. Well, you looked at me. Now you made me feel even better today. Bakari said, she's in the chat.
Yeah, she is. She came to listen to you.
Man. Erica and I, we talk about a lot of things. These spiritual things for the African people or black people in America. It's something we need. It's not a luxury. It's not a pleasure. It's a need. It's a must. It's a must. That's why I say I go to Africa. I go there every day. I get things from Africa, and whoever wants soap and not that stuff they got in the store, I get the real thing. I get things from Africa. If there's a problem that you might have, I do things to work it out for you. Well, it's not free, but it works, and it lasts. I didn't come here to advertise me. I came here to talk about African spirituality, and it's important. You can't see enough of it. You see the pies we eat, sweet potato pie, that pie, squash pie, this, that, and the other. That's Africa. But do yourself a favor, folks. If you're going to eat chicken, try to find places where you can get free-range chicken. That means the chicken's out there running around in the yard. picking up whatever he's eating. Not that guy that's in the store. That one in the store gets you cancer. That's a fact.
Yeah, get you some fresh chicken eggs, straight out the chicken's anus.
Yeah, and that's true. No. You laugh.
I know it's good at that because Noodle just went to Mississippi with me. I took it to the country, and my brother. That's what my brother. He don't buy chickens or eggs. Everything he eat eggs, and it's what they get out their coop what they get out their coop every day. I mean, those are the if anybody never had them, if they never had those chicken eggs, they need to try because that's the best eggs in the world. They taste is a complete different taste, and if you eat eggs, it's much better than the egg you're gonna get out of the store. You find somebody selling fresh eggs out the chicken coop, it's much better. You don't even need that salt and pepper that you put on it to flavor the eggs. It's much better, and you're not gonna find many white ones coming straight out of that chicken coop either.
Brown egg.
Yep, brown, blue.
You got all color, but it's good. I'm happy you put that because I forgot to say that. That was on my list of things, and I forgot to say that again. How's the bird run? Those eggs. I don't raise a chicken myself, but I can go to people I know and buy them. One guy I know, he'll even give me the eggs because he can't use them all. He has free range chicken. If the chicken are still running, if the fox or whatever, haven't caught him because he was upset. He had chicken. I said, why don't you have him, cooked up with some whatever the case may be? He had a story, man. Whoever was in the neighborhood, the fox, the weasel, whoever was out there getting shit a la carte.
Yeah. I asked my brother about his blue eggs. Did he have any blue eggs? He said his chicken that lay blue eggs, something that got the chicken that lay the blue eggs. And I don't know if you ever had a blue egg, and people think an egg just an egg, but if you taste them, you're gonna taste taste the difference. The blue egg was the best to me. I knew this guy I used to get and I lost his number. I used to get dozens. I could go get 2 dozen blue eggs from him at any time, man. The blue eggs taste the best to me. Yeah. Sometimes they'll even lay a green egg, but you're gonna very seldom those eggs we getting out the store, those white eggs we getting out of the store. Now this let you know something is wrong with those eggs, and I eat eggs, but the chickens very rarely. And Nula, how many did you see when we were down there? White. Very rarely lay white eggs. I'm not saying they don't lay none, but they very rarely lay white eggs.
Well, see, it's what they feed them. They've been cultivated to listen. Everything's a plan to make money, and then at the end of the spot, you find yourself at the doctor, unless home remedies like I know. Like I was listening to a guy on on television. Anyway, he was at a place where they have hot peppers, and place is called Ogundabade. And I'm thinking to myself, interesting. Let me explain how he got the name. I got online and sure enough, Ogundabad's on there. You like hot pepper?
Now my brother grow them peppers. I don't eat hot pepper. I don't really. That's an African thing too. That's real spicy food. I don't really play that. Yeah, Koku from the Bitter Medicine. Yeah, they you're right. They bleach them. But if you find somebody that growing, if you know somebody got some chickens and they selling their eggs, buy some. Yep, if you know somebody that's selling some of those eggs, buy some. And I promise you, the only way you're gonna get some out the store because all yours gone and they ain't got none right now. Buy you some.
Well, I'm going to a chicken place tomorrow, and I'm going to get some. I know about 2 or 3 different places that have their chickens, the hens, run around while they do. I sure enough going to get them.
And I'm gonna tell you something else they don't do. They don't see. Anuli said she saw maybe one white when we were down there. They don't put them in the refrigerator either.
Nope.
They do not refrigerate those fresh eggs. They come out. They come out that you get fresh from the, as they said in the movie, straight out the chicken's ass. They do not put them in the. They do not put them in the refrigerator either, man. So if you can taste that difference and you see how they're kept, and there's nothing wrong with them. Like Pi Bennett just said, and that's like he said, and he relating it to the spirituality. But it's like, yeah, we're buying this stuff, and this stuff, yes, it have us running to the doctor because it's all in business and it's all working together. Now I'm knowing this stuff, so why the hell I'm still going to buy eggs out the store?
Because you've been conditioned. You've been conditioned. The same thing with spiritual things. We have been conditioned. And when you do something different, you're going against people. You're going against the system. Your finger's going to be pointed at you. They're going to talk about you. We don't want to be talked about. We want to be part of a group. You know, it's psychological. Me, I don't care.
Oh, that's right, Coco. You ain't from originally from the NYC, so yeah. He said, "Well, he from back home," and you're right. Brown eggs. That's what I've seen most was the brown. I just knew the one guy that his chickens used to throw the blue ones.
They have a breed that does that.
A who?
A breed of chicken
that throw the blue eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brother said he had one. He said something happened to it. He said his chicken, she would lay, it would lay blue eggs and green eggs sometime. And he said something happened to it. He said those are his best eggs. I know them blue ones. I never had the green ones. I know the blue ones good. The brown ones good. Everything out of that coop is better than what we getting in that store, for real.
That's why they charge you more money. That's why it's called, I forgot, free range. They call it organic. That's the word they use. When I was a little boy, there was no such word as organic. Everything was fresh. Tomatoes smelled good. A banana, you open up, you cut the banana, look down the middle, you saw the seeds of the banana. I didn't know what it was, but the black stuff and down the middle. Everything had seeds. The grapes had seeds. Now, nothing has a seed.
Yeah, I'm trying to get we gonna get us a garden, right? Every vegetable my brother eat, he grows. It's I recorded. I'm gonna put it on my channel. Everything he eat, all of his vegetables that he eat, he grow. He grow all of his peppers, all of his tomatoes. He grows greens. He grows watermelons. Everything he grows, cucumbers. Everything that he eat, he grow.
Smart gentleman. And I was talking to somebody about, I went to a farmer today, and I don't know how we got on the topic, but he was talking about somebody where he was able to get Viagra and this, that, and the other. And I looked at him and said, you only know Viagra. It's seed watermelon. Black seed watermelon. That's your Viagra.
You know, if you don't know nobody that's getting the watermelons right off the farm, you ain't gonna get no black seed watermelons no more. You have to know people who selling the watermelons to get the black seed watermelons. They ain't in no store.
I get black seed, I don't eat it.
But you ain't gonna get none out the store.
No.
None.
You gotta get it off the farm.
Yep, and I love watermelon. So I got a guy I go to where I can get my watermelon and stuff from. Actually, where I get a lot of my vegetables from, I get my eggs from him too, but we eat a lot of eggs in my house. So if he ain't up there, I'll go to the store. I ain't gonna lie, I'll go to the store and get some of those bleached eggs.
Yeah, folks, that's all part of African spirituality, what you do with your body. But if you really want to be in tune on another level, You can always get at me. When I say get at me, contact me. I can explain things to you. I can give you consultation. I can send you things or tell you things rather that will help you. I keep referring to Bakari. I gave him something to use because I said, listen, I'm going to give you this. I want you to see how it works. Bakari never stopped talking about it. That comes from the motherland. That was soap.
Yeah, it works. I'm gonna put my email back in the chat because it's almost time for us to go. But I'm gonna put my email back in the chat so if anybody want to get in touch with Baba.
You know, folks, I speak casually because what I do, it's how can I say, I've been doing it for years, and I don't sit on a pedestal. I don't sit up on a pulpit. I come down to earth and walk with you. How the guy said to me, he said, you do the grassroots. So what are you talking about? I know he told me, he said, you just come and deal with people. You just talk to people. I said, and rightfully so. I said, there is no title. There's no, there's no, the only thing special about me is what I know. The only thing special about you is what you know. And we give each other respect. Because when you stand up on a high place like that, sure, people are impressed and they look at you and they might listen more differently. But when you get right down to it, what works for you?
Yeah, it has to be what works for you.
It's not that stuff that will work. Trust me. I can say. And you don't have to trust me. That's why I made sure Bakari had some. It's so good, it's unbelievable. I wash every day with it. It's things I do every day. African spirituality, even when it comes to say, my son had a craving, and you too might have a craving, anybody, for certain food. I said, okay, you're going to eat that food. That's because you have a craving. The word craving is when somebody else spiritually wants what they want it also, so they come through you. I said, when it comes to drinking alcohol, they can't get high, can't get the feeling once they come through you. You have to know how to control certain things. Smoking, drinking alcohol, food, you get a taste for certain things. The spirit around you that wants that. And you're always going to get it through you. I told him, I said, remember that sandwich we saw on the ground? You saw a bite out of it? After the person took a bite out of the sandwich and threw it on the ground, he was giving it to a spirit. You know which one? I don't know. They don't know who did it, but I'm simply saying some things are not that hard to do, and some things you need some assistance to do it. That's a fact. I'll be every week that Bakari said, because I want people to know. It's very important where you to know, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Hey, Pabin, before you, Bob, before you continue, Amalub, I just responded. I said, "What seat are you in?" You said post local egg farms and farmers market. You know what? I have to get back to doing that. I'm going to get back to promoting and posting Black-owned businesses on a weekly basis, farmers and all that, because I used to do that. I still might have some on my channel. But I removed some of my videos. Actually, I had removed almost all of them, and I started over. But I'm going to get back. I'm going to get back to doing that, promoting the businesses, our farmers, and all of that, because we need each other. That's the only way we're going to know about each other if we do these things. So I'm going to get back to that. So I know what city you can trust me. I'm going to find a farm, a Black farm there where we can go and we can get it, so we can support. So we can support one another. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Pappy, and I want to respond.
No. That's important, because that will make the information. But do you know, I went to a farmer today to get some vegetables, and I asked him. I said, "Do you know something about something?" I said about chicken. He said, "Oh yeah, yeah." And he mentioned the person's name. I said, "Oh, that's the son of the guy who I used to go to get chickens because the things that I do require chickens." I called the guy, and he was happy to hear from me. He said, "Oh, I have a few." He said, "But I know somebody has a whole lot of them." So you have to network. You can't be afraid to talk. You can't be afraid to ask. You cannot and should not be afraid to be yourself.
Yeah.
Anybody knows me knows what I do through what I do. I got to give them to Esther. I got to give them to Ogun. Certain deities, certain things that I do require me to do that. Then people will turn around, they'll come and they'll get it, animal, and they'll pluck it, what have you, and put them in the pot and eat them. But the important thing of it is that I make the sacrifices without whomever needs whatever at whatever time. It's medicine. It really is medicine. You're sending the animal out on a mission with what he needs, and that's Buddha's a rule, and there's other things you can. And he goes and do. I do medical work. I don't boast about it, but that's what I do. If it's not medicine, it's about prosperity. It all comes down to the energy of the ashe from the animal blood. People know right now they're gonna wonder what are you talking about. I have to be honest with people. I have to tell you. And everybody listen to this like Ernie Mac would say. Everybody on here is grown. Everybody on here is an adult. This is what they know in Africa that we find. We turn our noses up to it and say, "What? Are you serious?" I don't want to put other people's business out there like that. But most people that you see in entertainment all do something spiritual. I can't call names because it's like, how do you know to call somebody's name like that? They didn't give me permission, but you can hurry up and believe it. So I gotta say to you, go on. If we're speaking on a one-on-one, I'll tell you. See, this right here, this conversation is out in the world. Everybody's heard it. Anybody can get it. And I don't want somebody to say I'm throwing their name around. I'm doing this, that, the other. Because that's not the right thing to do. But if you call me, we'll have a conversation, a consultation. You need help, I can do it. I have the means of getting it done. Period.
Yeah, he had the means to get it done.
And I'll say this to you, I don't go to the cemetery to do it either. See, a lot of times people say, "Well, how are you going to do that?" Because we're afraid to know how you going to do that. And they stammer, how you going to do that? I said, "Well, I don't go to the cemetery, okay? There's things of doing things. Everybody has their way, but I don't go there, and I respect. The only time I go to the cemetery is to take some white rum, see my folks, and talk to them. Pour that rum and talk, and walk away. I pour libation right on the ground, on the headstone."
You know, I was at before we go, I was at this was the COVID. When the COVID hit, they stopped having. I'm going to see if they start back. It used to be the Cameroonian, but then they changed the name of it to African Culture Fest. One of the things when people speak of libations, is like we do things here, and we don't know it. We call it libations now. Once you learn it, but I remember, you drink. I'm gonna post something out to my dead homies, right? But that was us connecting with our African spirituality, pouring libations without even knowing it. But at the African Culture Fest, that was one of the things that's one of the things that Ababa was speaking of libations. And he also spoke of, he said with him being here, he saw how what I just said, post on to the dead homies. And but we are given to our, like you were talking about the spiritual. And he was like, at certain times, is when you're going to friends and family house, it's okay. He said, pour some at the doorstep for your friends that would be at that gathering, that would have been at that gathering with you, and then you walk across it. You don't step in it, because you poured it. It's not a lot. Just he had a cap full, and he just poured it at the. He said, you pour it at the doorstep, and you step across, okay? Because your friends would have been there enjoying it with you, and now their spirit will be there. Will be there with you. Yes, sir. No, go ahead.
I had a cousin of mine. I don't know if she was upset about something, and she was crying. She now go to say she's a church lady. I said, "What is wrong with you now?" I said, "You got some woman in the house?" Yeah. I said, "Call your mama's cousin." I said, "Call your daddy's name 9 times. Call your mom's name 7 times. Pour that room on the ground." She did said, "I feel better." I said, "You just called me, came and quiet you behind down," just like she said they did. We've been separated from who we are. And yes, it might seem to be what I'm saying, magic, because you can't see it. But trust me, you'll feel it. You'll feel it different.
Yeah, that's exact. And just being there, and when I was just at that cultural fest, and they stopped it because I would have loved to take a newly, but they stopped it like literally. The next year they was going to have it, but then the COVID hit, but anyway, long story. But I know they wouldn't. I know it's a lot of people that would enjoy it, but if we're around one another, instead of focusing on the differences, the similarities is so great when you're around one another and you're hanging out, where you don't even recognize differences. Like, I'm from the country, right? And everybody is family. You come, you eat. So I'm inside of this place. I knew like 3 people there. A guy came on my panel. He's a good guy. I haven't talked to him in a minute. Actually, I need to give him a call. And we did an interview. We're talking about connecting with here in the continent and the rest of the diaspora. But I only knew him. But when I go to eat, and they were so happy to see a few African Americans in there because they wanted us to connect. It's like we were family. And it was Africans from everywhere. Man, I met people from Afro-Brazilians. I met Ethiopians. In the whole African Culture Fest and it was for African people from around the world that's here, to connect and come together. But they haven't done it since, as far as I know anyway, since COVID first hit. But it was a great experience because like you get and then the thing about it is I meet people from Ethiopia, and then of course Ethiopia, Cameroon, Nigeria, they're different countries, right? But some of their culture, the Ethiopian culture, was so similar to some of the West African cultures. So I'm just saying, I had a great time. I wish they'll start doing it again.
Nobody needs no passport back. You walk from place to place to place. Just like you in Georgia, all right, get on the car and drive down there. I don't need a passport. You want to get some stuff done, see me? get in the car and come on up here to New York. Simple.
Yep.
Some things are something easier than you think they are. And once you find out how easy they are, you say, wow. All you got to do is two things are important: trust and have somebody that's trustworthy. Those two components are important. You got to trust me, I got to trust you, and that's it. And we do what we got to do. No,
Yeah. So let me before he go. You want to say that Majuba before we get off of here about.
yeah, this is the prayer that I say every morning, or it can be said at any time. Majuba Ifa, Majuba Ogundabade, Majuba Orumila, Majuba Olos, Majuba Olarisa, Majuba all of my ancestors, Majuba all Babalaos that have passed away, and Majuba, the owner of the day. May we have divine light, may we have understanding, may we have success in all that we do. This was a beautiful meeting that we had today, and we thank all and Mari for that.
I say
once I say Majuba Ifa, Majuba Ordinaire. That's one of us. That's a part of God. Majuba Ordinaire, Majuba Orumila, Majuba Olofia. All those are important. Then you say who you want to bless in particular, and then you want to say what you want. Like I always ask: prosperity, good fortune, long life, success. I'm grateful for the fact this was a very good show today. I think, I think you can go on as long as you want. But we're on the air, nobody wants to hear a sermon. You create your own sermon. And after you finish doing that, you say, I say. So be it, so be it, so be it. Learn to use the African words and understand there's not always a translation for English or an African word. The African word is just what it is. Okay, like I have God rest his soul, Afalabi, Ipega. His name is not James Brown, James Jones, or Michael Thomas, or Kenneth Goodman. His name is Afalabi Ipega. Period. That's his name. If you want to get real and say Bobby Ipega, there's certain things that you say in a person's language, that's what it is. It means nothing more than that. It might have similarities, but that's nothing more than what you just said. You say, well, I'm going to know. Just go ahead and say it. You said it. That's enough. Everybody have a good day, a good week. By the grace of Almighty, we'll be again tomorrow. Next week. And take care. Bakari, when we get off, I have to get off and call you and tell you something.
Okay, no problem.
All right.
All right.
Everyone have a good. And Erica, God bless you, sweetheart. You know I love you all this heart of mine. I think that was what group was that? Isley Brothers. This old heart of mine. Yes. Love you all the time. Erica. All right, everybody. Take care now. Be well.
Talk to you later, Baba. Look, man, I thank everybody for coming through. Let me give Baba a round of applause for joining us. So look, I will see y'all later. I plan to come back later this evening, maybe we have a plan. I'm thinking on that. I have a live that I want to do. So, but until then, until next time, look, man, y'all thumb up the show. Tell your friends to come through, listen, and hit the subscribe button. But peace and one love. Peace and one love.